Gather round and let me tell you a story of realms long forgotten. There are tales of the Forest Kingdom, a place of honour and chivalry, known to some as the Land of the Purple Dragon, but known to all as Cormyr.
Hi, I'm Tilda, and I'm playing Hiram, a half-orc paladin.
Hi, my name's Carl. I'm playing Catcher Donahue, a human bard.
Hi, my name is Anton, and I play Balthazar, a Warforged Cloak of Azuth.
Hi, my name is Al, and I'm playing Slate, a changeling druid.
Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm playing Zombo, who is a halfling rogue/warlock.
And my name is Dan. I shall be the Dungeon Master on this adventure. Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Cormyr Echoes of War. Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
Hey, Dan.
Hello.
How's everyone?
Good. Doing good.
We're not bad. We're not bad. We've had a short little break. We are now back on the much bulkier, leveled up horse.
That's why we all look so youthful
right.
and invigorated.
So yes, the Warhounds. You've all leveled up to level 10 at the end of last episode. We're gonna find out what the cost of leveling up to level 10 is, though. I think, but so yeah, is everyone ready? Does everyone want to jump in?
Ooh dear. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Oh boy. Loss affects us all in very different ways. Some fear it, some reject it, some live with it. Whilst we may take steps to prepare ourselves for loss, sometimes we don't feel ready when the moment comes. Nyx Badger Ningle travelled to Cormyr from the neighbouring Cormanthor on a self-appointed mission to simply help. Finding companionship in the Warhounds, Badger would meet a valiant end aboard a Nautilid over the Dragonmere Sea. The Warhounds must now face the loss of their de facto leader in their own ways. It is hard to say how they'll react and adjust to their friend's passing, but two things are certain. One, the Warhounds will be changed, and two, the Forest Kingdom is still desperately in need of heroes. Antagonistic forces still lurk out of sight, and the hour to reveal themselves swiftly approaches. We find the Warhounds on the on the floor in the middle of Elhizir's Exotica in the heart of Arabel. Around as the five of you kind of clamour and panic, you watch as Elhizir's 6 daughters are levitating off the ground, their eyes blazing with arcane energy as they conjure some sort of spell. And in a flash of light, a figure tumbles to the ground in front of you. And as the figure looks up to you, you recognise it's Rena. And she looks to you in confusion and, where's Badger? What's happening? Where are we?
Well, where the hell is he?
As Rena looks to you, she looks up at the 6 identical daughters, and you watch as what almost looks like a looking pool opens above your heads. And through this scrying mirror, you can see what appears to be the Nautilid scored from front to back by a singular blast as it careens down towards the sea. One of the daughters, you assume it's Chantra, kind of leans forward and reaches out a hand, and you hear her shouting, just hold it! And she appears to be reaching through the pall as it zooms in towards the ship. And then the pall goes white as an explosion rips from the heart of the ship, obliterating it. And Chantra is thrown back towards you and lands in a crumple on the floor next to you.
Balthazar will look around the room to see if everyone's there.
As you look around, you can see Zumbo, Hiram, Katja, Slate, Drool, and Renna. Renna, who is watching the pool, distraught. She watches as the vision goes white, the scrying goes white. That you can feel in the shop itself the force of the explosion. You can hear the bottles rattling on El Hazir's shelves, and the other shoppers kind of panic and dive for cover.
Badger? Where's Badger? Balthazar will look around.
She was there before I left. Renna. Wait.
Badger?
Maybe she's under something. Let's just look around. I'll start over there.
Renna asked where Badger was, so Badger must have left before her. Renna?
Katja approaches Renna, and she's like, Renna, may I? And offers her hands out to her temples.
Renna is still looking at the point in the sky where the scrying pool was. And without looking at you, she stops one of your hands by holding your wrist. And you see Renna, she closes her eyes and she starts grimacing. It's like she's just, it looks like she's having the most violent oncoming of a migraine. As she starts recoiling and retching, and then she stops. She blinks her eyes a few times rapidly, and then she looks to you, and there's a look of utter horror on her face.
What is it, Renna?
She looks at you, Balthazar, as you ask it, and fear fills her face.
What happened?
And she looks around and, Badger, you had a friend called Badger, didn't you?
Yeah, where is she?
She was right behind me, Redder. Did you see her? Did she jump off?
As she looks to you, Katya, because she's still got your hand, she looks you in the eye, and Katya, you in that moment notice that Renna has this kind of clarity that she's never had in her eyes before. I think we were on a ship. It was an Illithid vessel. There was an explosion. I went up onto the deck. I found this badger, a gnome, pink hair. Yes.
Yes, that's
Do
her.
you not remember her?
She had a necklace. It was broken. I think I fixed it. And then I was here. And as she says that, you notice that around her neck is in fact one of the amulets that you're all wearing. And the Chantras, the sisters are busy picking up their sister, and they turn to look and they recognize the amulet hanging around Renna's neck. And Renna looks a bit confused, and sorry, I don't remember any of your names, but my name's Rena Illyra. I'm a war wizard. Where are we?
At this point, Slate walks up to the group and is just like, we need to stop chatting. We need to find her. It's a bit messy in here. Like, there's a bit of a... Come on, we... Help?
We will go in a second, but, Rena was the last one to see Badger. Any pointers we can get is going to help figure out what she has done.
Yeah, Rena, obviously Badger's given you her necklace, we can see that, but did she, before you came here, did she jump off the side? Did she fall? What happened? She must have gotten off the ship somehow.
So Zumba, you say that you notice, and Balthazar, you notice that Rena is just kind of staring at you warily, and like she kind of snaps to as you start kind of talking to her, Zumbo. I'm sorry, it feels like memories from a dream. She said it was going to be okay. She said everything was going to be fine. And then she gave me this necklace. But why was there an Illithid vessel, and why do you have Project Implacable?
Sorry, this is just not the time. Where's Badger? Where's Badger?
Yeah, I think Zumbo would go pull Chantra to her feet, possibly a bit roughly. Like, you need to send us back there right now. Open one of those portal things, send us through. We're going to go find our friend.
The five sisters kind of they watch you as you kind of grab this woman off the ground, and they all in unison turn to look at you, and in unison they say, "Even with our power, there is nothing we can do."
What do you mean? You have been... Look, you know Badger, we all know Badger. Can you at least try to scry on her? That's the thing that's the spell that you usually use to find someone, right?
I could do sending. Well,
yeah,
I'll try
do
it
that.
Well, I'll try it now. She'll be able to respond right away, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah, good idea, Balthazar.
Balthazar will prepare the spell
Mm-hmm.
and send. Hey, Badger! It's Balthazar. Did you make it out all right? What did you get the teleportation or the spell? Did you jump off the boat? We'll come get you. Just let us know where you are. We'll find you.
Wait. Maybe she found the way back to the tower. Maybe she went back to be with Emily and the queen, the king and the queen. Can we scry on them if you can't find her?
Let me try just one last thing. And Katya's trying to pull her hand out Rena's grip, like.
Yeah. Rena lets you go when she realizes.
Rena, if you give me permission, I can see your last. If you think about that moment, I can see it. You just have to let me in. Is that okay?
Rena looks at you confused, and I don't know you.
I know, but this is...
I feel like I do.
It's important, but I need you to give me the permission to come in. I'm not going to go into your mind without you saying so. So if you give me permission and you think about that moment, I'll be able to see it. Okay. As you did.
Rena warily kind of leans towards you.
And Katya places her fingertips against Rena's temple and uses her detect thoughts.
Okay. As you, same as always, you feel that kind of sensation of you being pulled from the midriff into Renna's mind. And it, like as the world begins to kind of build around you, like it has in many previous occasions, the thing you notice is that, like, you find yourself like standing on the sloping hull, like the deck of the Illithid ship, the Nautilid. You can see Badger in front of you, kind of looking down, holding her pendant in her hands, and it's clearly a great big crack across it. But what you notice as you look around is that you were high up, but the clouds were below you. But the world you're in seems misty and foggy, and like as you look around, it almost looks like it's beginning to close in on you, like it's disappearing. And you see, like, your hands reach out and cast a spell on this amulet, and you watch as the crack shrinks. And as you look up, you see Badger staring directly at you. As she kind of smiles, and you can't hear, like the voice sounds muffled. And you watch as Badger takes the amulet off, put it over your neck, and you just about hear, "You'll be safe. You'll be safe." And then the world goes white as the memory completely fades.
Catcher's knees immediately buckle. She comes away from Renna and just sort of covers her mouth.
As your knees buckle, your world is replaced. And as you look around, you can see a shadowy figure in front of you, and you appear to be in some sort of, looks like a workshop. And there appears to be like a torso, a helmet, a shoulder and an arm hanging off to the side. And as you look, you recognize it looks like Balthazar. And you surge to your feet and bring a wand up as you unleash a torrent of energy, a torrent of magic towards this shadowy interloper. And then another explosion rips out. And then you bounce out.
So yeah, Catcher falls, covers her mouth, and immediately tears start streaming from her eyes.
Dan, does my sending go somewhere?
It goes.
Okay.
Katya, what do you see? You all right?
She looked peaceful. She wasn't trying to get away. She was only trying to get Renna away. I think she's gone.
No, that's ridiculous. She's probably peaceful because she knows what she was doing.
One of the sisters has cast another scrying, and through this kind of globe orb that floats above her head, she peers through it, and it's an aerial view of the Dragonmere. You can see what's left of the Nautilid is less than insignificant as they splash down onto the water's surface. And as the scry kind of looks around, all you see is the small dot of the island that you were on, that was at the bottom of the sea, surrounded by the Cormyrian navy.
Look, that don't prove anything. We've all seen Badger jump huge distances, right? She could survive a fall like that, and if she did, then those boats will have picked her up. She's probably just a prisoner somewhere.
She wasn't trying to get away, Zumbo. That's the thing. She stood there, unmoving, unflapping, just calm.
Yes, but Rena got away before anything happened. You won't know what happened after that. You know, all you know is what Rena knew. Rena already said that's what happened. I mean, what? You didn't see anything happen, right?
Balthazar,
Did she die?
Yeah.
did she reply?
No.
She's,
Okay.
her last words to Rena were, "You'll be safe," and then that was that.
Okay. So we just need to go to the Dragonmere. Speak with maybe the Navy. I know it's not like in our best interest, but
I think we should go to Marsember, maybe.
definitely.
We probably should, but Slade, you also need to be aware it's very likely that we are not going to find her.
Well, we just have to look for a while.
It's okay.
We need to make time.
We can look, but I also just want everyone to be aware that we might not find her. I mean, she would never not let us know if she's okay. She would not do that to us.
She might not be able to answer if she's been taken prisoner or she's unconscious somewhere. There's the whole load of reasons.
Balthazar, what is the only when can she not answer?
No, she can always answer, even across planes.
The sisters gonna look to you with forlorn faces, and they nod in agreement. Rena has a guilty look on her face.
Let's find a ship. Let's find a ship. Let's find a way.
Go to Marsember.
Rena kind of stands up, kind of straightens up, and I don't particularly understand what is going on, but I will do what I can to help you find your friend.
Where's Emily?
Still in the tower. So probably with the Navy.
Oh, I hope.
Well, that
so.
settles it then. We've got to go back anyway.
Yes.
All right.
Perhaps
well, what are we
maybe-
waiting here for?
And then I'll look to the sisters. Can you get us? We need to get back as soon as possible. I mean, yes, thank you, but we need to go. Can you help, please?
The sisters look to each other. They kind of take a deep breath, and you see them kind of close their eyes. They form a circle again, and once again their eyes blaze with magic. And a teleportation circle appears in the middle of their circle. And the one in red looks to you, and it would only be wise to send you to Marsember. I fear at that point all you can do is wait.
Okay. Thank you.
They nod, and the sister in blue smiles, and may Mother Mistra watch over you.
Thanks.
Before we go, is it possible to get some sort of like revival sort of potion or something to kind of help Badger just find one on the shelf and kind of go, can I take this, and give them any money or whatever, just to...
There's such a thing.
There won't be a potion. Like, the closest you'll get is reagents for someone to cast some sort of
Alright.
back from the dead spell.
Didn't mean revive. I meant like healing, restoration.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, one of the so the sister in green reaches a hand out, and you watch as kind of tendrils of magic flow from her hand and pick up like a number of kind of health potions and float them over to you. She hands them to, like, they float over to you, Balthazar, and she quietly says to you, "These are for whoever needs it." And
What are they specifically? Sorry.
so they'll be potions of like greater healing, like superior, like the top one, superior healing.
Okay.
Balthazar, as this happens, you can't help but notice that these appear to be very powerful spellcasters.
Yeah. In the back of his mind's going, they're quite yeah, powerful for shopkeepers.
There seems to be something a bit odd about them, but yes, they sort of like, this portal back to Marsemba is ready. You can see a couple of Marsemban townfolk kind of, well, the portal's on the floor, and you can see their faces as if they're. It looks like this on the other side. The portal's appeared on a wall because you can just see people like peering through.
All right.
Oh.
Okay, people, let's go. And thank you. We will settle the tab when we are back.
As you sort of the sisters nod as you walk through, like you all pass through the portal, and you turn to see Renna still stood in the Exotica, and she looks conflicted. And then
Renna,
she looks up.
please. We need you. Badger helped you. We need your help to help Badger.
Yeah, and she takes another deep breath, and then she steps through the portal as well, and the portal closes behind her. You find yourselves back on the streets of Marsemba. Going from a room filled with scented fumes and candles and incenses to the pungent Marsemban air is stark and noticeable. So, like, as you, well, where do you want to go? Because you know you probably have to wait for. It took about a day for you to sail out from Marsemba, so you probably be waiting a day for them to come back.
I guess there's several scenes. I guess Hiram's probable reunion with Emily. I guess.
I mean, I have to wait for that because any news we get from Badger will come with the Navy, and she's on that.
Okay, I guess we'll all wait for the Navy then. Yeah.
I think we need to plan for how we're actually going to get her back from the Navy. You know, they're not going to just hand her over, so we got a day to plan that rescue, really, haven't we?
Do we need a rescue? Last time we talked, the king was with us. Like, he understood the situation. I think it should be fine.
Well, that's assuming the king survived.
Well,
I've
Well,
left them on the tower. That should be okay.
Kasha wipes her nose like, if the king didn't survive, I mean, Emily wouldn't have survived, or Raedra.
I don't
That
know,
should
I'd
be
back
fine.
Emily.
Oh God, Balthazar, can you send sending to Emily just to let her know we are in where we are?
I'm a bit tired, a bit tapped out.
Okay, never mind.
I think we all do need.
Yeah,
rest.
I'm gonna go find a temple, see if anyone can send something, or contact them.
sure.
Do you just want to wait in the pub?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, as good a place as any, I suppose.
Okay, I
Sorry.
won't be long.
As you split up and kind of go to either the temple or the Drowning Flagon. So, as you all kind of break off, some of you head to the temple, some of you head to the Drowning Flagon, and you kind of hunker down to wait. The next day, there are commotions through the city, and for Slate, as you stand on the docks looking south onto the Dragonmere, you can see the full naval might, well, almost the full naval might of Cormyr heading in to Marsemba. There's a lot of hubbub around kind of the dry docks and Starwater Keep, and as you kind of rush out to see what's happening, or to rush over to see what's happening, you're like some of the purple dragons try to stop you going into the dry docks, but you kind of push through regardless.
Yeah,
And-
Slate's not paying attention to them at all.
Yeah, in the middle of the dry dock is this peculiar, awkward situation where the purple dragons seem happy, yet they're also in combative and defensive poses. As in the middle of the dry docks is Ezered. Stood next to him, his niece, Raedra. And stood next to them, Emily.
The new squire.
Nope.
The new queen.
Yeah.
Is
The new queen
Oh.
of Cormyr.
The new queen of Cormyr, Emily.
And
Oh.
upon seeing you, Emily shouts out your name, Hiram, and kind of runs through the blockade of purple dragons and slams into your waist in a big.
Oh, I'm gonna pick
Aw.
her up and hug her.
So as you hug her, you see Ezra kind of hold a hand up to the gathered purple soldiers of the 6th. Stand down, he says. And they kind of look a bit confused. And Ezra nods. She's with me. And uncle and niece slowly walk towards you. And Raedra looks to you with heavy eyes and she says, I'm sorry. And at a loss for anything else to say, she just walks past you. So as over the space of the next week, I understand that some of you are staying in Marsemba to search for Badger.
Yes.
Yeah. I think Balthazar will join with
Yep.
Zumbo and Slate.
Yeah.
So Slate, Zumbo, Balthazar, you stay behind in Marsemba. You find yourselves in a position where Slate, you're having seen the star whale on the Bobbing Apple 2. You're able to dive as deep as you can for the time you have allowed, with Zumbo and Balthazar kind of clinging to your back, swimming out to the site where the Nautilus crashed, or you can find chunks of debris hideously warped beyond all comprehension. And it's clear that anything that was on the ship would have not have survived. So
Do I have locate object? Probably.
maybe.
As a perk I do.
Okay.
I definitely
Do
have
it.
locate person, so
Sure.
Locate person, is that a thing?
I think so.
Okay,
Wait.
creature, isn't it? I just got rid of
Oh,
it.
creature.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we find nothing.
So you find nothing as you kind of deep dive into the Dragonmere around the wreckage, which, as the days go by, just drift further and further away from the point of impact. The only thing you find are occasional merchant vessels lazily drifting past, and the occasional fisherman's vessel. And as you dive deeper and deeper, the island has, as you dive down, you've noticed that the island has once again sunk to the bottom of the sea, but this time there are no protective magics surrounding it, so it is now just nothing but an underwater ruin.
I think even with that, I'd imagine that Slate, I imagine Balthazar and I guess Zumbo, if we can get him some water breathing, would still want to explore that, right?
Yeah.
Out of desperation.
if we can.
Sure.
Going through
Yes.
all the halls we've already seen.
So we spend the week doing that, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Zumba, how are you spending all the time down with Slade?
I think, well, if we've got some time in Marsember as well, maybe while we're waiting, I think I would go see Fathead again if I can find him,
Okay.
and I pay off any debt I owe him, probably quite a bit, but in return, I want to ask him to keep an eye out for Badger. Basically, give him Badger's description and say, look, if she washes up somewhere, if she turns up, wounded somewhere, or you get wind of, I don't know, smugglers picking her up, because he'll have all sorts of CD contacts that would fly under the radar. So just, can he send word to me, and I'll pay him whatever I owe him to get him to do that.
I mean, for Fat Ted, this has been the most bizarre day that he never expected to have. Not only has he been paid in full by the Zumbo Marifat, but he's also being asked to look out for us as he understands it. I mean, when you say Badger, he nods and, yeah, I know you. I know who you're talking about. Little pink-haired gnome, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, she came to see me just before you lot set out.
Yeah.
They're calling her a hero.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. That's why we want to find her. She's our hero, you see.
And look, as long as this gold's not fake, I'll keep an eye out for you, alright?
Thanks. Yeah, and sorry about the last shipment. No hard feelings, eh?
Not for today, at least, Marifat. Not for today, at least.
Alright, cheers. I'll just back his way out before he gets mugged or beaten up.
Okay. So, yeah, between the lot of you spend kind of that much time down in Marsember. There comes a point after 3-4 days that every time you go down, the only thing you find is more disappointment.
And sendings every day that with no response.
Yeah, sendings that are never responded to. You eventually kind of make your way back to Marsember, and Zumbo, you know that there's effectively a ferry service that will go from Marsember, along from Marsember up past Walloon back towards Arabelle. It'll be quicker than walking.
I imagine Slate would be quite reluctant to leave. I think it'd be a lot of convincing or just, pushing by the rest of the gang to move on to a different place.
I think Zumbo would go to Slate and say, look, Slate, I don't want to leave either, but we've done everything we can here, and we've got people looking for her. She will turn up, but she'd want us to crack on, yeah? Until she's back.
Well, what can we do? I don't know what we're supposed to do now, though.
Well, we still got the diadem to find, and I don't know about you, but I wouldn't mind getting even with those Githyanki gits.
Yeah.
Badger would want us to help as many people as we can.
Yeah.
Until she's back, we ought to do what she would do.
Okay. You're right.
Give Slate's hand a little squeeze.
Okay. Hiram, Kate, was there anything you're doing particularly in Marsember, or were you just...
Tilda, do you want to go first?
I think Hiram doesn't do much in Marsember, but at one point he will try to go back to the inn to talk to Shana. And this would be quite late in the week.
What, in Arabelle?
No, isn't she in the World Serpent Inn?
Yeah, she's at World Serpent. So you're gonna walking back to Arabelle because you're in Marsember at the moment.
Did
Did
we
you
have a
join us in
connection?
Marsember?
You can only get to it through Arabelle.
Oh, in that case, no.
We can take the ferry. We don't have to walk.
Yeah. Actually, however, what he would do is have a talk with Emily about what's going on with Badger.
Well, okay. So as you, in that moment, on that evening, as you approached Emily, she turns to you. Did you want to talk about it?
We probably should. And judging by her tone, this is not going to go the way I thought it will.
Emily shrugs. I don't know what I feel more sad about. The fact that she's gone, or the fact that I don't feel as sad as I feel I should.
I mean, there is no measurement of sad you need to feel when something like this happens.
Emily.
Also, if all the ways she could go, in a way this was of her own choosing. She did what she always wanted to do, and that's to help someone.
Emily kind of looks at the floor and nods, kind of shrugs again. I just hope that it hurt less than when I went.
Oh, Emily. I'm gonna give her a hug again.
Okay.
And say, just hold on. Even if you don't feel, now that you don't feel so sad, maybe what you can do instead is be there for the others. Because I can tell you, Zombo and Slate are not gonna take well to this.
Emily kind of pulls back from you, thinks a little bit, and I don't think any of us are.
No, we are not.
She kind of looks to you and, this arrived for us. And she hands you a letter stamped with the silver sword seal.
Later.
Okay. Emily smiles and I think we should just go for a walk.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
she
we can
kind
do that.
of takes your hand and she kind of leads you out of the inn to go for a wander around along the seafront. Katya.
I actually imagine Katya ended up having a massive falling out with everyone after the first night, unable to reconcile what she saw with everyone's optimism. So I imagine she ended up storming out of the flagon on like the first night after the boats came back, and she's not been seen for a few days. But by the third day, there's suddenly the Ballad of the Warhounds is kind of making its rounds around the city, and it's been being sung quite often at the Old Oak, where she's ended up settling for the time being.
Okay. So there's a particular night when you're playing the ballad, and
she can't seem to get past the Zumbo verse. Zumbo, Badger verse.
Okay. Every time you try to say the lyrics, say the stanza of the Badger verse, like every time you falter, you find yourself looking up, like at the crowd of people, like expectant people, and your head begins to be kind of filled with kind of voices and images. It's almost like they're memories that aren't yours, and you realize that as you kind of peer at people, it's like you're almost traveling inside their heads without contact, almost like what you were doing with Renna, but from a distance. And you can hear their thoughts, you can see their memories, and the noise just stops you from being able to think. But
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's the set for today. Thank you.
as you kind of get off the stage, you can feel ripples of discontent ripple through the crowds. And yeah, you can just kind of hear their conversations in your head. And as you retire to your room that night, and you give Drool a little scritch on the head, it's a bit quieter, and you realise that, like, you tried it a few times as you were heading back, but you can, for what you would describe it, you feel like you can mind walk.
Ooh.
Which is a new feature in your character sheet.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Hello. Mind walking. No details though.
So, the Warhounds eventually find you.
She's at a table. She's gone and bought herself a new jacket, new get up, but the table is covered in tankards, and when she sort of sees you, she sort of glowers for a bit.
Hey, Katya. Need any help with those? And Zumbo will nod at the tankards.
I think I'm doing fine by myself. Thank you very much, Zumbo.
Well, would you like some company anyway?
Yes. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice, yeah.
Alright, well, first round's on me. What's everyone having? And they'll take people's orders and then pot off.
Are we all there, DM Dan?
You're all there. As the drinks come over,
Olive oil for me, please.
yeah. So as you bring back the drinks, the door opens. The door to the drowning flagon opens, and in walks Renna and Raedra.
Oh God! Wow.
Oh, what a combo!
And
Yeah.
the tavern goes a bit quiet as people recognize Renna, and like you see her kind of looking around. And then they kind of head over to the seat. You see Renna, signals for a couple of drinks, and as they take a seat, some drinks are brought over for them. And Raedra looks to you all, and she says, we may have had our differences in the past, but at times like these, they seem to be the most insignificant and unimportant things in the world. I can only thank you for what you did for us, and I just wanted to let you know that my uncle and I have spoken, and we have formally announced a ceasefire and truce. I will step away from the throne and allow him to continue ruling. There will be no more bloodshed from Cormyrian soldiers on my watch. But that all pales in comparison. And she looks at you all in turn, and she lifts her glass to Badger.
Badger.
To Badger.
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 And yeah, Fraser takes a swig. Ezred is going to be heading back to Suzail. I will be accompanying him to ensure that any soldiers who are still fighting in my name know definitively to stop fighting. If you happen to be in the region of Suzail, I would be more than appreciative of a visit. She nods, downs her drink, stands up. Godspeed, Warhounds.
Same
And
to you.
the former Queen of Cormyr turns and leaves the tavern.
Guys.
There's what's her name? Sorry,
Renna?
Right now.
Renna. I keep getting it wrong. Does Renna stay?
She stays.
Okay.
Guys.
Yes.
Yeah, Katya.
I'm sorry.
For.
I know how hard this is for everyone, and I'm sorry for not having more hope. But I personally don't think there is any.
No,
No.
she's gone.
Can't believe the nerve of her. She just came, all that bloodshed, and then suddenly it's all over. Like,
That's why I hate the Royals so much. They just
disgusting.
It's better late than never. And also, it's what Badger would have wanted. I think. Obviously, I can't speak for her, but
So what do we do now? Are we still the Warhounds?
if you want to be, I mean, it's not all. Not everything is done.
If nothing else, Iram, your mind falls back to that sealed letter you would
Oh, dear.
it's been delivered to you.
Ooh. What's that?
Yeah. Actually, I was just gonna say, well, might as well open this while in good company and with drinks. And I have a letter from my family, which never bodes well. And I'm going to open it and read it to everyone.
Okay. So you open the letter, and in it is a very kind of delicate, swooping handwriting. It takes you a few moments, but then you recognize it to be the handwriting of your grandmother,
Ooh.
Helena. The letter speaks about how she's heard what's happened, and that all of the love and support that can be mustered by the Silver Swords is being directed your way. But she would greatly appreciate it if you were able to meet her at the Silver Sword estate in Arabelle. She has taken the time to travel up to Arabelle, and she would much like to see her favourite grandson. But yeah, it's otherwise it's a relatively short message. So is there anything else you lot wanted to do in Marsemba before you headed off?
I think, if Hiram's read, told us about the letter, and and we've kind of decided that we're going back to Arabelle, he would say,
Yeah, go ahead.
just before we go, I got something I need to say. I don't believe she's gone. I can't believe that. She's just lost somewhere. But whatever's happened to her, I need you to know that it's my fault. I was the last one on the boat with her. I should have checked her amulet. I should have seen that it was broken. The captain's supposed to be the last one off. I let her down. I let you all down.
No, Zambo, no.
Not your.
Even
You
if-
weren't there. It was Renna. It's Renna's fault, if anything.
It's no one's fault. It's
They
no
said
one's
it'll
fault.
be
You
better.
know
Renna
she would
sitting
never
right
have
with
let
us.
anyone. No, she's gone, man. Now, isn't she?
No, she's sitting with us.
Renna's sitting at the
Oh
table.
dear Lord!
Oh,
But yeah, it's no one's fault. You know, Badger would never would let anyone stay on that ship while she was there.
I know, but I should have made her go. If I could swap places, if I could go back,
I think
you know I would.
I think we'd all would, Zumbo.
Yeah. Anyway, I just needed you to know that.
It's okay,
And
Zumbo.
I am sorry.
No, I think you have nothing to be sorry about.
Mm,
I mean,
Kind
if you
of.
want to blame someone, blame the illithid.
Yeah. Well, when we meet him again, gonna have some choice words for him, Hiram. Don't you worry about that.
Or the Githyanki.
Yeah, all them.
Or the Hunter, yeah.
they did shoot the ship, yeah. Dimran,
Yes.
Balthazar would probably speak with Renna.
Mhm.
Probably later in the evening.
Sure. Okay.
And he'll say, Renna, why did you call me implacable?
So, Renna, well, so you've had to kind of get up and go to the table that Renna moved to after Slate's outburst. And like she looks up to you, and like when you approach, the look on her face is one of, it's a quick look, but it's one of surprise and fear.
Oh.
And she kind of stops because, like, she composes herself, and because that's what you are, isn't it?
Well, I guess his body is implacable, yeah. Made by war wizards. Were you part of them?
She looks to you and sort of like she gestures you to come down, like to her level, like to her eye level, and she kind of reaches up and kind of puts a hand on the side of your helmet and like peers kind of into your visor, into your kind of glowing eyes. It's not a coincidence that you're called Balthazar, is it?
No.
Oh my! What happened to you?
Do you know me?
You were there, weren't you?
Yeah. I was there. I don't remember it much.
Renna stops, and unfortunately, I feel I remember too much. I worry that I remember far too much. Balthazar, in this moment, you can't help but find it strange that the Renna that you're talking to just seems so cognate and in the moment. I genuinely thought that the project as a whole would be put out of commission, but the fact that you stand here before us means that I was woefully wrong. I I can't help but feel... I feel guilty for everything that's happened to your friend, but I also can't help but feel guilty for what happened to you, little Balthazar.
Hey, I'm doing okay. I'm still me, I guess.
She
I'm a bit taller.
she shakes her head, and I was the war wizard that argued for the use of Netherese magics and Netherese artifacts in Project Implacable.
Oh. What did I argue for?
Well, if I remember rightly, you were just... You were the innocent little archivist that sat in the next room over, cataloguing things, but it was... We were too greedy. We thought that we could deal with the magics. When we realized that the project had been infiltrated by Sharon worshippers, war wizards at that, the damage had already been done. And in my mind, there was only one option to shut it all down. And I'm sorry that I didn't realize you were there.
Well, I guess I knew what I was getting into if I was working on the project. I guess I got out lucky, I guess. You don't often get a second chance.
She nods, and my memories after the explosion in the workshop are hazy until when we found ourselves in Arabelle. But has anyone informed the Mage Royal of your existence? Gandra surely must know.
Oh, I think it's fine. Well, we'll let him know.
So he doesn't know.
I'm sure he does.
She shakes her head, and I'm glad that... Well, I can only hope that... Okay.
Well, I'm technically Cormyr military property, so if they were, they could technically claim me, even though I am Balthazar. So,
sure. I don't know how much you saw of the confrontation, but do you know if there were any, apart from me, were there any survivors?
The gnomes? 2 gnomes?
The gnomes from Lovecraft?
Yeah.
No, they weren't on site that night.
Oh. Then it's just me and you, I guess. I think. I haven't met anybody else.
Do you know if Elberth made it out?
Who's Elberth?
Aidan Elberth. He was one of the war wizards that turned out to be a Sharan spy.
No.
He was the one I was fighting that night.
Yeah, he didn't make it. Yeah, died during the incident.
I'm glad. Aidan was a sly, nasty snake.
Question: did we actually get rid of Aidan, or is he still alive? I think he wrecked. He dead? Do we know?
Oh, he's alive, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah, we just escaped him, but we didn't kill him.
We didn't fight him to the end.
All right, I'll maintain what I said.
Okay. If Aidan Elberth has departed from this world, then the world can only be a better place. I'm glad. Whilst I'm sorry for what happened to you, Balthazar, I am glad that I completed at least part of my plan.
Yeah, it's a pretty good body. It's kind of rusty sometimes, but get rid of it.
She chuckles, and I, as a member of Project Implacable, I will do what I can to help you
Lifetime supply of oil. I'll do the trick.
She smiles, and hopefully it won't be a lifetime.
Oh, what? Is there an expiry date on me? How does it work?
She laughs. She looks over and, oh, one of your friends is leaving, and Zumbo, as you kind of excuse yourself and kind of head off to kind of be at one with your thoughts. I'm guessing you all have your own separate rooms upstairs.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Zumbo, as you kind of head back to your room, kind of looking for that kind of bubble of safety and security, ironically, one of the only places you can really find it now is in the bathtub in the corner of your room. And as you climb into it and kind of close your eyes to kind of block out the world, you may or may not notice as your form becomes slightly less solid and your body transforms into fundamentally water.
Ooh.
And the bathtub is half filled as you just try to hide away from it all. If you check your character sheet, you can now use an aqueous form.
Oh. Okay, that sounds like something I would notice. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and as you
Can you drink yourself? Is really the question.
as you transform, sort of you open your eyes and you look up, and just perched on the side of the bathtub, watching you vigilantly, is Betty. Before she tumbles into the bathtub and starts swimming around in you.
Oh, that doesn't seem right. Get out of there, and just plop her back on the side.
Okay. So you're going to be heading back to Arabelle, yeah?
Hiram would want to talk to Slade
Okay.
that evening after everyone went to their rooms. It's Slade. Can I have a chat with you?
Yeah, sure.
Look, I'm sorry. It seems to me that you are taking this much worse than the others. And I wondered if you wanted to maybe talk about it.
Well, what's there to talk about? We've already decided that she's dead, and there's no point in, we can't find her, and she's gone, and it just seems like we're all, it's been what? A week. Are you kidding me? Well, let's just keep on moving. Let's keep on going. It's just ridiculous.
Okay. So personally, I don't think she's coming back because of what Katja has seen, what Rena has said, the fact that she's not answering any of the sendings. But obviously doesn't mean that you have to believe in the same. It just means that at the moment we are probably not going to find her on her own. If we are wrong and she is still alive, she will find her way back to us on her own. If keeping this hope with you is easier for you, you absolutely can do that. But for me, I can't hold on to that. It's not healthy. That kind of hope would crush me. It's easier for me to believe that she did what she wanted to do, and that now she's in peace.
If you really believe that, then how are you functioning at all? Like, we've spent a long time with each other. You can't just...
I don't have much of a choice. I have a squire. Katja was falling apart. Like you, Balthazar, and Sambo were under the sea. I did not have time to grieve yet. And I will do so in my own time. But this is not a time yet. Like, this is not the first time someone I love died in front of me. I've done this before, and it's awful, and it's going to continue to be awful. And I will just deal with it every day as best I can.
How long did it take you to, stop feeling the pain of missing someone?
Oh, it doesn't go away. Like, obviously it's a bit different because Emily came back, but every time I see her, every time we're in a dangerous situation, it's like it happened 2 minutes ago. It always hurts. It doesn't get better, but it gets easier. Like, I know what to expect. I know how it will feel. And but I also say at the same time, I have other things to focus on. I want everyone else to survive and to be happy, and I can't do that if I'm stuck in the past in a loop, just thinking about how we failed someone, how we couldn't save someone, if you know what I mean.
There's so many. It's hard to let go, and there's so many things that could have happened. I mean, we could have changed, or we should have all just jumped off, and I would have done something. We could have.
Slate, and he's going to reach out and hold your hands between his own. It's only been a week. You don't have to be okay yet. Take your time. If you need to feel sad, then feel sad. And then when you're ready, then you can be better. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, so as your kind of conversation ends, are the Warhounds heading back to Arabelle the following day? Okay.
Yeah.
How
is it
do you intend on traveling?
Via Suzail or not?
Can we just teleport back?
We
What's
can.
Suzail for?
If I get the correct spell components. I need rare chalks and inks infused with precious gems worth 50 gold pieces.
Oh dear.
Oh.
I don't think Balthazar knows any of the teleportation circles in Suzail, but you would have seen the one you would have been given details in El Hazir's.
So the question is, would I know the War Wizard one in Suzail, and then El Hazir's in Arabelle? Because in the spell it says I get to know two. So
Question: could you know the Suzail one by talking to Raedra?
No, I have to.
Like, surely someone tailing the king and the ex-queen would know if there's a teleportation circle in Suzail and how to get there. And there must be at least one war wizard.
I mean, being an ex-War Wizard archivist, I probably would know the one in War Wizard Academy. Whether I can use it is another thing.
Oh, do you think we need to shake your head like a magic ball to get the right information out?
Remains unclear.
Slate, Katya, Hiram, you remember that there is in fact a teleportation circle into Suzail. It's outside the Mage Royal's tower. That's the portal you watched the Semberholm delegation arrive through just before the supposed peace summit at the end of Arc 1. You know also that there would be one at the War Wizards College. Balthazar, as an archivist, you probably wouldn't have been given the sigils because those are, well, I mean,
bad.
Yeah, access to those portals is on a very much need-to-know basis.
That was very important.
Can we do a hard history check to
okay.
try and remember the one?
So can we go straight to Al Hazir's then? Because there's one there, right?
You are able to teleport to Elhazir's, and then if we can figure out a second one, then there'll be a second one.
Okay.
You're able to find like rare chalks and whatnot. That's easy enough, especially in Mars Ember.
Gotcha.
So
Can I
following
buy some
morning,
spare? Can I buy like 3?
you can buy some spare. You've got the gold, yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's go.
So yeah, come the morning, teleporting back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I just learned the spell. I hope it works.
Okay. So in the morning you all gather in, like you pay up your fees at the reception of the Drowning Flagon, and then you gather up in Balthazar's room. You watch as he draws out the arcane sigils of Elhazir's teleportation circle. As Balthazar kind of casts some magic, and the circle ignites into life. You all kind of step through, and the smell of sewage and rotting fish fades away and is replaced with.
Before stepping through, Katya looks out the window towards the sea and just says, "Goodbye, Badger," as she steps into it.
Okay. In which case, Katya, you stay behind to say that, and you're the last to step through. Like Renna steps ahead of you, last to step through. As the stench of sewage and rotting fish is immediately swapped out with the smell of incense, you bump into the back of Slate, who's
Sorry,
just
sorry,
gonna,
Slate.
and Slate, you've stopped suddenly because in front of you, Katya, as you peer around Slate, you see what appears to be Chiron, but with brown hair and slightly different tattoos.
Huh.
And in that moment, that's not Chiron, that's Baz, that's Barrence. And Slate, you look at your mentor as he stands there with his hands on his fists and his beard bristling. And he, do you even know how long I've been waiting here for you? He shouts. And as the portal behind you closes, let's grab a 10-minute break.
Wow. That's.
Cool. I will see you all in a little bit.
All right, see you in a bit.
In a bit.
Bye.
Hey, it's Balthazar. Katya and Badger forced me to do this. They say I should ask you to subscribe and support the Warhounds. Thanks, I guess.
Welcome back, everybody. Hello. You
Hello.
made it all back, and for that I'm
Yep.
eternally grateful. The Warhounds have arrived back in Arabelle, back in the busy and bustling Elhazir's Exotica, which I can only assume is very, very disconcerting for anyone shopping there when a teleportation circle just rips into reality and outstep a load of adventurers. But yes, Katja, as you're the last one to arrive, you have accidentally bumped into Slate, who has come to a sudden stop because, yes, in front of you is someone who looks sort of like Chiron, but not. In front of you is Baz, and Katja, you notice that his beard and eyebrows are bristling. He has his hands on his hips, and he has just shouted at Slate for making him wait so long. Baz focuses his very intense gaze on you, Slate. Well, what have you got to say for yourself?
This point, I think Slate just completely breaks all Slate odds and just goes and just like crumples into a hug into Baz and just kind of like starts like weeping.
The old man has a look of utter panic on his face, and he goes like his arms come in. He goes stiff as a board. Slate, as you kind of hang off him. What form are you in, Slate?
Probably.
Because if
Oh,
it's
let's go
Chiron,
from. I'd say it's probably more Rowan at this point.
So, as this suspiciously attractive, long, red-headed woman just kind of falls over Baz, he just and he sort of looks around and like he looks at the rest of you Warhounds because he's not entirely sure what to do in a situation like this, and then like he bends his arms at the elbows and just kind of very delicately kind of just pats Rowan's back with his fingers. He doesn't really quite know what to do, and times like these are quite stressful. There's all these changes in your body, and it can really be difficult to process. He says, and he looks at you and, what's happening? He mouths to the rest of you.
Katya, using her telepathy, speaks into his head. One of our companions has not returned.
What did they just miss the teleportation circle? He says out loud.
No, they're no longer on this realm. They
got in the wrong teleportation circle.
Baz,
my-
Baz. Badger's dead.
Oh, I didn't realize. You could have told me sooner, Slate. Now I just look like a right fool. I'm sorry, Slate. And you as well. You all of you. Yes. Sorry. And he kind of leans over to you here. Badger was the gnome, right? Oh yes, she was lovely. She was lovely. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Well then, he said, and he kind of pulls you off him, and. Well, and this Baz looks supremely awkward now. Seems like he doesn't really know what to say, and I'll be honest, that's not actually why I came. But drink. This place, the fumes are making me feel a bit queasy.
Okay. What? What? Oh! We were...
Yes?
We were supposed to be somewhere? Sorry, it feels like it's been ages. I can't...
I have been waiting here quite some time, Slate. Yes, but come on, I'm parched. You all as well, but you have to pay for your own drinks. I'm not a charity.
Uncommonly generous of you.
Thank you. So Baz leads you out, and he kind of looks around, and he heads towards the first tavern that he finds, which is it's some it's near El Hazir. You don't have to go particularly far in Arabelle before you find a tavern, he kind of grabs you all. He grabs a table. He sits you all down. He buys himself a drink. Forgets to buy anyone else a drink. So as you kind of get your own rounds, you see Baz kind of curiously studying you, Rowan, Slate, kind of leaning from one side to the other as he peers into your eyes, almost like an optician. How are you feeling?
Tired.
Tired.
Really tired.
Well, yes, as I say, there are things happening in your body that are unprecedented, and you're just not going to. You're going to feel like a completely different person by the time it's through. But don't worry, we've all been through it, and we're all the better for it. Except these lot, they can't do it. It's just us, actually. So ignore I said that. It's just us that go through these changes.
What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, yeah, I know this is new to Slate, but I was speaking with some of the druids back in the King's Forest, and they noticed that the spirits were saying that they could feel your power growing. We were expecting that it's probably around about the time now that you can really well and truly manifest nature's wrath and all that, So we, I just wanted to check in on you. Yeah. Don't worry, it's not a hot flush. You can just become a fire elemental now. But I just didn't want to panic you in case you're trying to have some private time, and then suddenly you've literally become rock.
Is it just gonna? I don't know if I'm really. So, I'll be walking along.
Yes.
And then suddenly I'll be a flame. Is that what you're saying? Because I don't know if I really can handle that right now.
Only if you forget not to be. And I've got a thing that will help you not forget to not be the random flame person.
Oh,
Are you following me?
Yes.
Or air. I mean, if you're in a public place and you really need to, then I find that becoming an air elemental is quite handy because you just waft yourself away.
Are the rest of us sat at the table listening to this conversation?
Absolutely.
Like studying our drinks very intently.
Now, I found that, when I was your age, and I was developing these things within my body, that I needed certain things to keep me in control, keep me intact.
Oh my god, I'm covering Emily's ears. What the hell?
Almost, just something to keep everything in the right place,
Imagine catches it also like.
I think also like even Rowan's kind of like, is this really happening?
I suppose
right now.
Yes, and he raises his voice. I suppose it's almost like a chastity cage, but for like all of you, right? So,
I think like Rowan slowly just like slightly.
Katja leans over to Slate. It's like, how did you grow up the way you did with this guy?
So, I spoke to the druids back in the King's Forest. They've accepted me back in now. Everything's grand.
That's so good.
I mean, I say they've accepted me in. They haven't actually verbally said that yet, but I'm just assuming. But I did manage to go through my old things, and I found these, and I think they will be extremely beneficial for you, whilst you're going through these urges. I thought about giving them a fancy name, but it actually just felt a bit more smutty to give them a name, so I just referred to them as my shackles.
Okay. Can I not do this at all?
No, I really think you should.
Okay. I mean, is this really?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fine. It seems intimidating, but you just put them on your wrists like this, and he just clicks on. So basically, he's pulled out these two kind of worn-looking bracelets almost. They're all manacles. They almost look like manacles. And just like while he's talking to you and he's distracting you with his words, you hear a click, and like one of the shackles is on your wrists. And then as you look at it, there's another click as he clicks on the other one. Perfect fit.
I don't think this is okay.
Don't worry, we never do when we first put on the shackles.
Can you take them off now?
There's normally a safe word you have to say, Slate, if you want them to come off.
I see you've also had some shackles. Unfortunately, I'm not entirely. I can't remember the safe word. They've removed it, but it's for the best.
Can we?
It's for the best.
So this is for. What is going on?
So, with these, if you ever find yourself failing to control your urges to explode into a fiery beast or some sort of watery abomination or anything like that, you can use the power of these shackles to give yourselves form. And it just kind of, takes all of that pent-up energy, and, rather than it just ripping out of you in a big explosion, it just, keeps it all in.
So, if I wanted to just, become air and just dissolve into the air right now, would that be possible? Because that would be so good right now.
I mean, you could. I would suggest, only doing that if you, But, I mean, if you were to have a look inwards, you would see that not only could you now potentially transform into elementals using your wild shape ability, but you can transform into a form of elemental that's a bit more contained. I've heard some. I was having drinks with some cultists. They came down from the Destrian Valley. There's something about the elemental evil. Sometimes they refer to these things as myrmidons. When they take an elemental and they bind it into a specific location. But that's what the shackles do. You just kind of keep all that pent-in energy. Really kind of keeps all the chutzpah.
Catch leans over and is like, you don't talk to people very often, do you, Baz?
Why? What makes you say that?
No reason.
Good. So,
Well, out of character, Dan, what does this thing do? So confused right now.
So, yes. So,
It
when you
it prevents you from doing things, basically.
when
right?
you use your wild shape ability, now that you're level
Yes.
10, to transform into an elemental, you can instead transform into an elemental myrmidon for a shorter period of time.
What on earth is a myrmidon?
Wow.
It is a shackled elemental. It kind of harnesses all its energy, but you can't.
Whoa, cool.
So, and then Baz points to you and yes. So rather than just kind of splurging all of your power everywhere, you can just direct it, focus it.
So, does this mean it only takes one wild shape rather than two?
No, it's still two. Says
Damn it.
Baz, breaking the fourth wall.
I'm saying at least yours has a description. I still don't know what my special ability does.
So Baz kind of looks to you, nods, and I think that pretty much wraps up everything that I need to discuss with you. I don't think there's anything else important.
Okay.
That is discussing.
I probably am gonna just, die now. Thanks
no.
so much.
The shackles will make you feel like that maybe for a few weeks, but the feeling passes.
Great. I'm gonna. You know what? I've never felt more like having a drink. I thought this was a strange week, but yeah, I'm gonna go and get another drink for everyone around the table. I get a round, as it's called, hence why you buy a round for everyone. And I'm gonna drink that for myself and get one for everyone else as well. And then I'm gonna pretend this never happened.
Okay,
Great.
Brilliant. Right. Yeah. Off
Thanks.
you go then. Off you go. And Slate, as you get up and wander off, Baz looks to you and I'll be honest, I was feeling a bit nervous, but I think that went quite well. But I'll tell you what, I am terribly awful with goodbyes, so I'm actually just going to sneak away while Slate's at the bar.
You're a
it was-
great human being, aren't you?
Thank you. Right, well,
Wow.
it's good to see you, and off I go. And
Hang on, old
Tyron-
timer. Hang on. Those shackle things you gave Slate. If one of
they're
us,
too big for you. They're too big for you.
Yeah. But if like one of us was inexplicably turning into water or fire, like you said, Slate was, would they stop that happening? Do you reckon? Because just out of interest,
Can we run an insight check on that? Because the water is very suspicious. That's very specific.
Yeah. If you want, anyone can roll me an insight check. Baz kind of looks you up and down, and like you see an eyebrow slowly raise, and
just academic interest,
we didn't think that you were also versed in the druidic arts.
Yeah.
He looks at you and gives you a big wink.
I imagine Baz is the kind of person who winks with both eyes.
Or just like winks like this. And it's like
I know that one of the other druids at the King's Forest also had his shackles. He dug them up. So if you want, I can always have a word with him if see if he's happy to loan you his shackles if you want to experience life as it should be experienced.
Well, I mean, yeah, all right.
Marvelous. Cool.
Sure. Are they the kind of thing you should like buy, or should you get your own?
I mean, we all share them,
Yeah, it doesn't sound that hygienic though, does it?
Well, you just wipe them down, and then they're good to go. But Slate's coming back, and so I've really got to. Oh god! And you see him, and he panics. He grabs your drink, Hiram, drinks it, and then like drops the tankard, and then turns himself into a small bird, and just out the door he goes.
Okay. Right.
He's an interesting person, isn't he?
But also, does 16 give me anything?
So
I am not letting this go.
it seemed like a very peculiar thing for somebody to be asking, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For
Zambo,
sure.
that's a very peculiar wording right there. Is there anything you want to share with the class?
Maybe not right now, Hiram, but yes, just had an interesting bath earlier. That's all.
Oh god. At the mention of a bath, Hiram is like, oh, never mind. I'm good.
Unless I can always show you if you'd
Carry
like to.
No, carry on. Well, it's all fine.
Is it like a wart or a pimple?
Yeah,
Is
I
it,
thought that'd shut you up, Hiram.
what do you find?
So it's like you come back and you find that Baz is nowhere to be seen.
I'll say to everyone, I'll be like, now that Baz has gone to the toilet, I'm really sorry about that. But you know what? I'm just really grateful that he's here. So thanks for being good about it. It's just good to have family around.
Mm-hmm.
It was hella awkward. Just so awkward. But yes, I can see why he means a lot to you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being so nice about it. When he comes back, let's just try not to ignore it.
He's not coming. He's not coming
He's
back.
left.
Had an urgent appointment. Yeah, forgot about it. Planned doctors. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
So you kind of have your drinks, and sort of like so now that you're back in Arabelle, you kind of make yourselves comfortable, kind of go and do your things. Meanwhile, Hiram, You take this opportunity to head over to Silversword Estate. Is anyone else going with Hiram to the Silversword Estate, or are you just like deliberately
want
going
us
on
to?
your own?
I think I would prefer to go alone to this
Yeah.
one.
Sure. In which case, yeah, you head to
Yeah. You know,
the northeast of.
just in case my grandmother wants to talk about my masturbation technique.
God.
We could be so lucky. Hiram, as you head up to the the northeast of Arabelle, you the streets get more even and cleaner the more northwest, beg your pardon, northwest of Arabelle. You eventually find yourselves in front of the iron gates of the decorative iron gates of the Silversword Estate. One of the kind of groundspeople gives you a nod, and they let you in, and you notice that the groundsperson looks quite somber. There's just a bit of a somber mood, but she still makes kind of light conversation with you, asking how are you doing, or how's the adventuring, how's things with the Warhounds, or just completely idle chit chat. But as you you're led into the house proper, into one of the sitting rooms, and sure enough, there you see your grandmother, Helena Silversword. She looks to you and smiles, and she kind of stands, walks over to you, gives you a big hug, and she says to you, as you look to her, her graying hair, her kind of olive brown skin, she gestures to the seat and, take a seat, Hiram. I heard about what had happened.
Thank you. Which parts? A lot happened since we have last seen each other.
We heard that you went out to sea, and that not everyone made it back.
Yeah.
Are you doing okay?
I mean, considering. Oh, I don't know. It just is. It does not feel real. I keep waiting for her to just pop up and tell us to get on with it. Let's go. Let's help the realm. Let's go talk to Shana. Let's do things. And it's God is the stupidest thing that remind me of her. And it's God. The worst part is that all this time, since Magnus made her the leader, so in my head, whenever she made a decision, I kept judging her. I kept thinking, was this the right choice? I wouldn't have done it this way. I could have been better, and I don't know why I did that. She always tried her best, and now I never get to apologize for that. And in the end, she did do the right thing. God, I just feel like I have been a coward, and I never get to make it right. I wanted to have so many conversations with her. I wanted to have so many drinks, and now it's just not going to happen.
There's a loud tut from your grandmother. She shakes her head, and no grandson of mine will think of himself as a coward. The fact that you and all of your companions were there up until the very end, that speaks volumes for the courage that you all have, and the the bond and the love that you have between one another. And there are times where terrible, terrible things will happen. But the true courage that I hope we bred into you is that the hardest thing is to get back up and keep going, Hiram. That's, if nothing else, I certainly hope that you would have picked that up from your mother. Because let's be honest, your father's a bit of a fop, isn't he?
Oh, don't tell him I said this, but my God, he is. He really is.
And like the old woman kind of sits back in her seat, smiles, just as one of the house servants comes in with a tray with tea, and Helena takes a teacup and just sips gently at it. There's many things that are expected of you, Hiram, given that you bear the name of House Silversword. And I think there's very few people through Cormyr that would challenge the thing that you and your friends have done for the country, for us. But the real reason I wanted to call you here is that Silversword isn't the only house that you belong to. She smiles, and before I married your father, before I married your grandfather, do you know which house I came from?
So, in character, I probably should know. Out of character, no.
Roll me a history check.
Thank you. History. Do I get through with advantage, seeing how it's my own grandmother?
No.
19.
See, because you don't need it, because you're such a good grandson.
I gotta say, history is the only stat where Hiram actually rolls pretty much always well. Clearly, he shouldn't be he should be a historian, not a paladin.
Yes. So, you remember, or you know, that your grandmother, Helena Silversword, used to be Helena Roaringhorn. From
That rings a bell.
House Roaringhorn. The thing that you know about Roaringhorn is that they have a reputation for being bold, impetuous, and living with a zest for life. And much like the other houses, they have a lot of rivals who would see them actually as reckless, boorish, and lustful. But that's certainly not the words you would use to describe your grandmother right now. She looks to you, and Silversword's always happy to be second or third best, but that was never the Roaringhorn way, Hiram. Part of the reason why I love your grandfather is that he's so un-Silversword. A bit like you, actually. So, in the same way that you carry the legacy of House Silversword upon your back, I want you to carry the legacy of House Roaringhorn on your front. And she reaches down to a brooch that's on her lapel, like on her, just above her, or just on her breastbone. And she takes it off and she looks at it for a moment and then hands it to you. And as you look at the brooch, it's about slightly about the size of your palm, oval in shape, a beautiful gold filigree around the edges, and what appears to be a white marble carving relief of the head of a griffin. if ever you find yourself in need, Hiram, use this brooch to call upon the herald of House Roaringhorn. Sometimes he's known as... where have I put it? Sometimes he's known as Bartasarg.
Balthazar?
Yeah, can you repeat that name, Dan?
No, I can't.
Okay.
In fact, I think Hiram knows the name of this herald of House Roaringhorn and can say it for me.
What is
Can
it?
I?
Yeah. Yes, you can. It's in your inventory. No, it's not. It's in your features.
Ah, cool. Hold on.
What is it?
Battleshag.
Oh,
Battleshag. Yes.
Yes.
Shadow
Oh,
Oh,
bag.
that's
Shadow
lovely.
bag?
No,
Oh.
Battleshag is the Hungarian word for courage.
Oh, ooh.
So your grandmother nods to you and may he deliver you unto victory, little silver sword.
Thank you.
She smiles and I hope you're staying for a while. I've asked the housing staff to make up those almond cakes that you like so much, and they should be ready soon by the smells of
Oh,
it.
I can definitely stay for those. Thank you.
She smiles, and yeah, you spend the rest of the day kind of chit chatting between you, catching up with the matriarch of House Silversword. So whilst this is happening, Katya, what are you doing?
Is the Warhounds base still a ruin at this present moment?
It's currently being... Well, if you kind of wander the half mile south of Arabelle to see it, it's kind of late afternoon-ish, so you can see that there are workers who are in the... Well, there's some sort of reconstruction going on as you look at this kind of burnt-out guild house, but you can see some workers... Like, you pass some workers heading back into town as you head towards it. So there's like lumber and tiles and new kind of masonry stone and whatnot dotted around.
Okay, so Katya sneaks into the ruin, wanders through the remains of the Great Hall, having sort of, I guess, hearing sounds like she hears the battle between that they had when the place was destroyed. Has the sort of flashback to her sort of dancing in the hall and being caught by Slate. In the end, she goes into what's left of the barracks.
Yeah.
She sort of, if there's any beds or anything left in there, she'll sit on one of the beds, and she starts thinking back to like when she first arrived at the Warhounds. And obviously she's still on her own, she's got drool, and suddenly this pink-haired gnome approaches her. And suddenly this hand sort of just shoots out in front of her. And it's like, hello! I'm Badger. And Katya awkwardly takes the hand and like, I'm Katya. Katya Donahue. And as Katya sits there, she just screams, and as she does, the whole back wall of the barracks explodes outwards. She's left there, sort of just head in her hands, as the bricks just float away from her. She just sobs into her hand at the memory of when she first met Badger. And then eventually the bricks just all fall.
Okay. Do you stay there long, or how long
She's
do you
there,
stay there?
I think she stays there long enough to eventually, when she realizes she has to get back, but I guess before it gets too dark, because there'd be goblins on this road. But she stays there long enough to be thinking about like the different arrivals of different people, meeting Slate, meeting like Hiram and Magnus, all the different Warhounds, and eventually she sort of like, as she approaches the door, she thinks of like the time when they were probably all standing there looking at the wreckages of the building and deciding to carry on Warhound name. But then she slowly makes her way back to town.
Okay. I mean, in which case, as you make your way to the eastern wall of Arabelle, and you stand in the doorway of the Wild Goose Inn, and you, which god or goddess do you invoke?
Oh, she'll evoke her own, which is Melil.
Melil, okay.
Melil, yeah, Melil.
Okay, so as you invoke Melil's name, which causes the doorway to shift and transform and be filled with the familiar kind of blue fog that denotes the entrance to the World Serpent Inn. You enter to find the Warhounds gathered around a table. Even though this place, wherever it is a considerable difference from the Dragonmere Sea, there also seems to be that kind of pall of subduedness in this place as well. There's not even the loud booming voice kind of tearing through the tavern like there normally is.
Sorry I'm late, everyone. I just had some business to attend to. Sorry to have kept you waiting.
And as you all kind of grab a seat, Mitrofer kind of comes over and, as always, these are on the house. And he plops down some drinks and some food for you. And I thought it would only be fair for me to inform you that Lady Shana and Master Garabrael they've already left. They left for Semberholm perhaps a few days past, but Master Garabrael sends his regards.
Thanks.
And this giant of a man kind of nods, his big white beard flopping as he does, and he kind of he turns and wanders. Well, so he turns to leave, but then stops. He looks back to you. He pulls a wand from his belt, and with a small flick of the wand, all of your drinks begin kind of take on this subtle gold glittery sheen. A small enchantment. I hope it will make you feel a little bit better.
Thank you, Mitrofer.
And yeah, the otherworldly innkeeper wanders off. As you look to one another and kind of eat and drink quietly, you look around and you can see that in the grand scheme of things, life is just kind of continuing on around you. Maybe it feels like it's going a bit slower, but it's hard to say. Nothing else of note really happens this evening. You retire each to your rooms. Mitrofer sorts out a room for Renna, which, like, you hear a "ooh" come from the elf as the door opens, and she sees this bedroom for the first time. You can't help but get the feeling that the bedroom probably looks significantly different to how it did before. You see an actual bedroom, not just the one from the Stagsteads that you saw before. Balthazar.
Yeah.
As you head to your room, I mean, it looks as filled out as it did last time, which is to say quite filled out.
They have a low ceiling, small furniture.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Ti-
Everything
tiny
looked a bit.
bed.
Everything looks a bit smaller. Actually, yeah. You have to stoop more than you remember having to before.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you all kind of get ready to hunker down for the night, Balthazar, you kind of go to the spot where you tend to just kind of go into rest mode, and then you notice and turn to look, and on your like bedside table is a small drawn portrait of a little halfling woman.
Balthazar will go to it and pick it up.
And you look at this photo of this woman, and like you recognize the face, but you can't remember who it is. She's in your memory, and then it dawns on you the reason you remember this face is because you saw it in your dreams after you arrived back from the Stormwall Mountains.
Yeah.
And you remember hearing her voice, and she asked you what you were doing.
Balthazar will pick it up and go to the corner where he usually sort of, he bunches up his knees to his chest and he just sits there looking at the photo.
Sure. In which case, yeah, as you hold and look at this picture, and it's the last thing you see as you just kind of deactivate, you come to the next thing you notice is that you spring up into an alert state, and like the magic enchantments on the window now shows that it's daytime, and as you kind of poke your head out of the door, you can see some of the other Warhounds starting to filter out, and who's woken up before Balthazar and is already in the main room. Hiram. Okay, just Hiram. Cool.
I would say Slate isn't sleeping very well at the moment, so it's just like they're in a sort of insomniatic state.
Sure. Okay. So in which case, yeah, Balthazar, as you head back out, you see Slate and Hiram. Eventually, the other Warhounds start to filter out bit by bit, and for those of you that some of you might feel slightly better having had a night's rest in your room, quote unquote. Perhaps some of you, Slate, don't feel as great. But as you sit there, there is a kind of there's a burst of surprise. There's surprise voices from the next room over, or the next hall over. And sort of like through the archway into that next room, you can see this kind of swirling, this light, this kind of golden light emanating from that hall. And you see you see a couple of people kind of wander out of the room, just like with their plates huffing. One of them looks like they both look like 7 foot tall elephant people is the best way you can describe them. But they just kind of come stomping through. I came here for peace and quiet. You hear one of the elephant people say as they stomp off into the corner. And boom, sit down, you hear the chair creak under its weight. And the golden glow from the archway dims. And then from the archway steps a very familiar silver-scaled Dragon Ball. And he looks around and sees you. Oh! And he kind of rushes over to you. As Varaxis rushes over to you, I'm so glad you made it back. I was worried that you'd been gone for so long, and I heard what happened, and I feared for the worst, but I'm glad to see that you're all... Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, almost all.
And Varaxis kind of looks a bit crestfallen, and I'm sorry
to ask in these times, but you have to tell me everything that you saw. They tell me that you were on a Norselid.
Yeah, take a seat. This is going to be a bit of a long story.
And Varaxis, sort of like as you say that, he holds a finger up, and
In that case, one moment.
and he kind of rushes back through the archway from where he came from, and you hear his voice from the next hallway, like this resonant voice. And he as he comes back, he kind of stands up straight, puffs his chest out, and
members of the Warhounds, if I could, I would like to introduce you to
and sort of as he stutters with his words, and it's clear that he's nervous, like he's kind of got the shakes about him. And through the doorway, through the archway, steps a surly-looking dwarf, flanked by what appears to be a hobgoblin and a human, wearing matching armors to Varaxis. The dwarf has this kind of long, golden blonde beard that is clearly showing is greying. It's clear that this dwarf has quite a few years on him. His armor looks a lot more kind of exotic than those of the other paladins around him. The things of note, you notice that he has a metal gold eye patch over his left eye. There appears to be some sort of creature's skull decorating his left shoulder, and his right hand is missing, replaced with a gauntlet that ends with a viciously sharp-looking axe blade. And the dwarf studies you, and
I understand you're the Warhounds.
Catcher sort of starts falling into bard mode. It's like, that is correct, sir. We are the Warhounds.
The dwarf nods.
Would you permit me to take a seat?
Please. I believe Varaxis has already said we must regale you with the tale.
When did Catcher wake up?
The dwarf nods, kind of using his axe hand, kind of wafts the cloak out from behind him so he can take a seat. And there's a heavy thud as this axe hand gauntlet lands on the table. And he looks to you all and says,
My name is Durgan Goldmane. I am the commander of the Order of the Golden Chain. And Varaxis here tells me that you have experienced, you've seen evidence of an advanced illithid infestation, a Nautilid.
Mr. Goldmane, allow us to regale you the tale of the Nautilid over the Dragonmere.
So you play your song?
Well, she basically does it more as a sort of Shakespearean, this isn't a song more as it's a performance.
Spoken word poetry.
Spoken word poetry.
Okay.
As she basically flurries her new sort of jacket, she's up on the table, crouching down. Everything is very sort of over theatricized. Even standing up and dressing like the whole. She brings in as much of the tavern to listen as she does this.
Okay.
I think as Katya's doing that, Zumbo would quietly just push his chair back and walk away.
Okay.
Go sit at the bar.
So those of you still at the table notice that Goldmane watches Zumbo leave, but he's kind of listening to this tale, like with this furrowed look, like a scholar listening to an academic text. And then when you finish, the dwarf nods.
I don't think she finishes as much. She gets to a point and then sort of freezes up. The dwarf
holds his hand up and...
Thank you. I've heard enough. And
She's sort of like, oh, thank God.
you saw these illithid with your own eyes. And he
Yeah.
kind of gestures to all of you.
That's right.
Killed a few.
He turns to Varaxis. The reports that you've received from Suzail, are they recent and accurate? And Varaxis kind of ponders a bit and,
As I understand, yes. The missives came through earlier, like during the night.
and Goldmane nods again and turns back to you.
A Nautilid is a grave threat to any realm which it flies through. For you to have come into contact with a woken Nautilid, complete with illithid crew, and live to tell the tale is impressive indeed. We have had multiple reports that citizens within Suzail have been going missing. Whilst normally this is not something that would concern an order such as ours, the circumstances with which we find ourselves in and the number of disappearances are highly alarming. We believe the Nautilid that you found yourselves upon was merely a portion or a vanguard of a greater illithid threat that may or may not have direct connections with Suzail. If these people going missing are in fact being taken by the Mind Flayers, there could be a psionic army building itself up within the capital of this nation. With that in mind, given your experience with the illithids already, I understand that I can have a job written up for you to go to Suzail and cleanse this illithid menace. So
Can
I
you give
ask,
us just a second?
Of course.
Okay, group huddle. Is Zombo back?
No, probably he's sat at the bar.
Give me a second here, Em. I'll just go see to him. And Katya comes over to him. It's like, you okay?
Yeah, fine.
You don't seem fine.
Just a just a bit early for songs for me, Katya. If that
I
makes
know.
sense.
I know. But it's how I deal with things. It's how I've always dealt with them. As she reaches into her jacket and she plonks your journal in front of you. I think this is incomplete.
He just rests his hand on it.
I'll take it back once you've filled it out, if you understand. And take as long as you need. It's not easy. And I know you haven't given up hope, and I'm sorry that I'm sorry that it may seem that the rest of us have, but I'm here if you need to talk. Like it took me a long time to accept that my mother was gone, so if you need to talk Zambo, I'm here, and if you want to ever hand me that back, let me know when you've finished writing what you need to write. And whatever it is, I'm sure it will be... I'll make sure I turn it into something special.
Yeah, thanks, Katya.
She pats him on the back. The others need us. Come on.
Yeah, alright, yeah. and he'll tuck the journal in his jacket and then follow her back to the table.
Okay. The dwarf looks to you, Zumbo, and welcome back. He says, and like there's this kind of firm militarian kind of nod that feels oddly comforting. But yeah, the dwarf gives you a very quick rebrief. They suspect that there are mind flayers, illithids in or around Suzail, and that they're capturing people to create more mind flayers, and that's never a good thing. So yeah, this dwarf.
I formally request the assistance of the Warhounds in helping to purge this threat. If you agree, I will have the job description written up. I understand that Varaxis has already written a number of these job offerings for you. But I am willing to put the full wealth and support of the Order of the Golden Chain behind you for this one final job.
I think I probably speak for everyone when I say keep your gold.
Yeah, we've got plenty of motivation to kill these things now.
Yeah, so the question is, are we all in? 'Cause now we know exactly how dangerous it is going to be.
Yeah. We can do it.
I guess
We should try.
we can. Guess we can delay our beach holiday for another
Yeah.
mind flare slaying.
I don't tan very well, anyways.
Okay. So as you all kind of murmur your agreements, the dwarf nods. He gestures for you to follow him. He kind of walks into the other hall, ascends the stairs up to Tarkalon's kind of job center, job table.
Yeah.
As you get to the top of this, as you all kind of get to the top of the stairs, you see kind of Durgan Goldmane stood there in front of Tarkalon, in front of this bespectacled pit fiend, and there's this low grumble between the two of them, and you hear the dwarf go,
Tarkalon? Goldmane? Keeping well? Well enough? Keeping out of trouble? Yes.
says the pit fiend, and the dwarf then begins to nods in approval, begins discussing the job, and as Tarkalon looks to you and slides the contract out with space for 5 signatures
Wait. And a paw print. Come on.
and a portrait.
And Emily, 7 signatures.
Well, Hiram's got a +1, but yes, as the contract is slid across the table to you.
Actually, I think Hiram at this point will stop signing for both of them and slide the contract in front of Emily and say, like, it's up to you.
Ooh.
Tarkalon looks a bit panicked at you, and then his eye moves from you, Hiram, to the document, to Emily, to Goldmane, and back. And then
Tarkalon's terrified of Emily.
There's a flick of the wrist, and a new line appears on the contract with Emily's name written underneath it. And you just see this pit fiend kind of side eye the dwarf nods. And then yeah. So as you look at it, as you look at this contract with 7 signature lines, we will call it there.
Ooh. Whew.
Big
Very
episode.
Yeah. Good.
Oh, an elsewhere.
no.
Oh god, we haven't had an elsewhere in
Hey.
so goddamn long.
No,
Season start. Of course, there's going to be an elsewhere.
Elsewhere in Suzail, The streets of Suzail are surprisingly quiet this night. Footsteps echo between the stone buildings as a little halfling woman travels down the cobblestone streets. Looking around cautiously, wary of a curfew, she approaches a group of purple-robed figures. She recognizes their uniforms. Excuse me, you're war wizards, aren't you? And the three figures turn and, why, yes, we are. It's past the curfew, my lady. You should be heading back to your home. Well, actually, I'm visiting. You see, if you're, I'm actually looking for someone. He's actually a war wizard, just like you. Maybe you know him. His name's Balthazar? And one of the war wizards steps forward and tilts his head. Balthazar, you say? I do know him, actually. Come with me. I'll take you to him. Oh, where are my manners? My name's Aiden.
Dum dum dum.
God.
That came back to bite you in the
Oh.
ass so goddamn quick.
Damn it.
Where's our goddamn beach episode?
I have to be a one shot.
Congratulations, everyone, on completing episode 29.
Very good.
So,
Well then.
yes, as we embark on the final leg of this tale, who knows? Well, we all know we know where it's going, but who knows what's going to happen? So, yes, thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And yeah, I think we'll all just kind of see you next time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll come back. We'll come back.
Beautiful. If you enjoyed what you are seeing, please like the video and leave a comment down below. There are loads more episodes for you to watch, and if you really liked what you saw, please click on the subscribe button. It really helps us out. And then click on the bell for more notifications.
Yes.
We have new videos coming up every week. So with that, thank you all once again, and yeah, see you next time.
Bye.
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 Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, 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 bye. A somewhat somber start to the final chapter of the Cormyr campaign, but the call to action has been sounded. Under request of the Order of the Golden Chain, the Warhounds are bound for Suzail. Come back next episode to see what awaits them in Cormyr's gleaming capital. I'm pretty excited for what's to come over the next few months, and with a change in the lineup and a new level, I've done a quick spruce up on the layouts and presentation. Leave a comment down below on what you think. If you like this video and want to see another like it, you can click on the thumbnail right here. If you want to see more content from the Explorers of Elsewhere, you should click on the subscribe button here, as well as the bell for notifications. With that said, thank you all for watching, and as always, stay safe, and may the realms endure.